Welcome, Knicks Nation, to another edition of Sky Hoops Knicks Dreams. It's your boy Dream in the building, ready to chop it up about all the good and the bad from the last game. Probably a little bit more bad than good, but we got room for improvement. Here to join me is my man, Leader Point Guard Santana, dishing the rock always, but he's out in the field today, so I'm picking it up at the studio. So here we go. So I'm gonna dish it left hand, no look. My man Santana, get us started. Go ahead.
Hey, Dream, thank you, man. Thank you for kicking it off and holding it down, brother.
No problem.
Of course, we got to talk about this next game. I mean, in the last episode, we talked about the strategy going in terms of what they needed to do to win the game. You know what I mean? Not to rest on their laurels that they had won 3 games during the regular season, and also changing, anticipating that Nate McMillan was going to change his approach, considering that they lost 3 games in the regular season. So obviously, trying to outscore everybody wasn't going to work against us. However, I did share with our fellow colleagues that I did expect Nate to make an adjustment to make it more of a defensive game, and sure enough, that's exactly what he did. You know what I mean? And as a result of that, when they needed their offense to lean on to close out the game, they were able to do that. That being said, I also mentioned that, we had to defend Trey Young a certain way. Coming out of the locker room, you got one-on-one, one-on-one type of defense. Once he sits on the court, you double team. You got to take the ball out of his hand, force other players to make the decisions. Unfortunately, Tibbs did not make the adjustment, and that was the key to the game. And I called it out before that game. I said, listen, Tibbs has to make the adjustment to the adjustment. And one of those adjustments is you got to take the ball out of this guy's hand. You don't want to leave it in the hands of your star or their star at the end of the game. No, man, not take it out of his head. Get somebody else to beat you.
Yeah.
Now that's what we got. We got what we got. But go ahead, G. Take it off.
No, I appreciate it, and basically to start, like you said, all night long it was Trey Young, Ice baby, way too easy. Basically this guy, he shot 23 field goals and only 3 from the 3-point land. So 20 of those field goal attempts just happened all inside, up and around the paint. And that's exactly what we don't want to do. For these kind of guys, you gotta build a wall, like Giannis or Luka. You treat them the same way. You keep these guys out of the paint because that's what they do most of their damage. So he does make those splash threes from time to time, but he slowed that down a lot. He's made that adjustment to his shooting this year because he wasn't hitting at a high rate. So he does that from time to time, but not that much. But if you push him out and make him shoot some of those, then that probably works in our favor. Going through the game overall, I labeled this, man, it's like Blue Julius versus Orange Julius, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in Blue Julius, we get this cold night, we get this dreary play. He's like not into it. He's making, not heady plays and stuff like that. And he throws in the shot and just shooting with the defense rather than imposing himself, pushing what the defense can't defend against. 15, 12, and 4, what are you going to do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another one of those average games. Sometimes you guys pick it up, and so it doesn't affect us as much. And you just chalk it up to, okay, he's going to have those nights once in a while. But if he has those nights and the other guy won't pick it up, we fall apart. And we didn't necessarily fall apart in the game score-wise, but approach-wise, and imposing our will on them. We fell apart in that sense, and it was just, another slow start. We got to figure out why we keep getting into these slow starts. Now this is dating way back into that road trip, that 6-game road trip we took. And we started out with Houston and Memphis, and there was slow starts in those games, but we were able to overcome that and come back. But we've had a slow start consistently ever since that road trip, and we need to get out of that funk somehow. I don't know if you can tweak the lineup a little bit. I've been hearing a lot of noise about that, getting off the Peyton out and switching it up. It's not really, it's very hard to really tweak the lineup too much at this point in the season, but we got to make some kind of adjustment. I guess I'm willing to do that too, even if it's like a faster rotation of the guards, like 2 minutes apiece. boom, boom, boom. Then starting roles doesn't really affect them that much. You just get them in there to initiate the offense earlier, and on that end, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We need to think about some of that stuff. But that being said, at least some meat on the bone. I toss it back your way, bro.
Yeah, so the other thing, and I don't know if you got to, and I'm gonna bring up another game to show a strategy that easily could be implemented against Atlanta, and specifically against Trey Young. Okay, last night the Dallas Mavericks against the LA Clippers. Luka Doncic bringing up the ball, and he was doing the LeBron. He was calling for the pick and roll because he wanted Patrick Beverly to defend him. Why was he doing it? Because he was bodying him up. And Patrick could not do anything with it. Okay? And the Knicks, they're not doing that. This guy, Trey Young, weighs a buck 25. If that. Soaking wet. The way that you slow a cat down is you got to wear him out. Otherwise, when he's roaming free on the offensive end, he's gonna do whatever he wants. So that's why you double team him, trap him, take the ball out of his hand. And then on defense, you force him to have to use up energy, so that by the time the game is on the line, at the end of the game, he got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the strategy that they need to implement. Now, the point that you raised regarding the different point guard rotations and stuff like that, it's a double-edged sword because, of course, Derrick Rose is obviously the premier point guard, but, we can't run him for 38 minutes. We can't. He just doesn't have, by the time it's caught up with him, so we got to be strategic about it. Now, the thing with Peyton, okay, so Peyton is not scoring, but the key is we don't need him to score. We need him just to be a playmaker, facilitate the offense and play solid D. And then, you spell out, you get as many minutes as you can get out of him so that you can complement him with Derrick Rose. And then Derrick Rose, you got to be able to take him out. You can't bring in Frank Ntilikina with 28 seconds left and expect him to be a stopper. It's not going to happen. If you're going to bring Frank Ntilikina, you got to bring him in early in the game so he could get, a rhythm. And then at some point in the second half, and then you spot him in the last minute. He's not a stopper to begin with. I never felt that. He's not the glove. But it's not fair to expect him to come in for 2 little possessions and be a stopper. He's not in a flow. These guys are in a flow. Trey Young is in his rhythm. and the other thing that Clyde said, take away his right. Play his right. He's coming back out. So, I mean, those are the little things. But go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. Your turn, bro.
I agree with everything you just said, man. Especially the Ntilikina point is like you can't bring him in at the end and expect him to, stay the game for you. The stuff that's right now. The entire game, he's been cooking everybody. He's super hot right now. He's one step ahead of everybody you can throw at him, and now you're bringing a cold player just because he can play defense into the game. He made 2 bad plays, like once with his feet and his mental. He didn't play him to force him to his left. He let him go right, and like so to help the defense, it's thinking you're going to push him left, so they're out of position, and he just floats right around everybody, super speed. And he's like, that's what you get. But like sometimes we get caught with that because we can only play with what we got, right? And this is what we got. Some guys are better at certain things than others. That was just a bad matchup, bad timing, bad possession for us. But that's what happens when we leave the game up to that. And we know that about ourselves. If we leave the teams hanging around in the end of games and we're not particularly playing well, it's not like a back and forth matchup. Like, there was a lot left on the table for the Knicks, that we can improve on in this game overall. So that's what happens. You do that, you play half-ass all day long, you get to the end, and they make the play against you. I'm just going to have to live with that. Play better in the first, play better in the second. The second, they did play better, but the fourth quarter, you allowed them way too many points. So what happens in the fourth quarter? That been a staple of ours, especially coming down the stretch, 25 or less, sometimes even 20 or less, And if we would have did that, coupled with some other things, then maybe we would have pulled that game out. The first quarter, like that was it, bro. Like, we came in, another slow start. They get rolling right away. This guy's getting in the lane, popping all over the place, right? Second quarter, the offensive gets going thanks to the second unit. Now, Toppin and Cookie, they don't look scared. They look like they're ready for the moment, and they want to embrace the moment. So that was good to see. And so that was a good thing. In the third quarter, the defense shows up, but the offense doesn't really follow. Still trying to figure it out. The starters, anyway, right? The entire game, the starters kind of let us down overall if you look at the numbers. But outside of that, in the fourth, the defense lets us down, and we give up, the 36 points to Atlanta. That was a killer right there, aside from anything else. But outside of that, I'll toss it back to you, bro.
Yeah, and of course, what kept us in the game, especially in the fourth quarter, was Burke. You know what I'm saying? Burke was shooting the ball well and stuff like that. And that's good, but again, it became, one-dimensional where he was the only one. And so, we didn't have the balanced offense. And then, like you say, you give up 36 points in the fourth? Come on, that's not going to cut it. We're lucky. We only lost by 2 by giving up 36 points in the fourth quarter. The average is 25, 26. 26 is the average. You know what I mean? That's what we got to play to. That's what we, okay, good. They played a pace game because the final score was in the 90s. So that's a pace game, which is good. That plays to our favor. But there's no margin of error. There's no room for a margin of error there. You gotta be tight on offense and tight on defense. Tibbs is a solid coach, but I have to question his strategy. I have to, and it's not one game. I mean, I've been questioning throughout the season, but now it's more magnified because in the playoffs, every possession counts.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so there's opportunity. There's not the end of the world. There's gonna be. They could come back and be 1-1, and they go back to Atlanta and they could try to pull it out and stuff like that. So we got to be smarter, man. We can't beat ourselves. That's what frustrates me. We beating ourselves. If another team beats you because they out execute you, fine. But when you beat yourself because you don't make the right adjustments, you make these last minute decisions. The fragmented killer decision was a last minute decision that didn't help us. And it puts him in a bad spot. That's not Frank's fault. That's Tim's fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then of course, not doubling on trade. That's Tim's fault.
Yeah.
But you got to take the ball out of his hands, bro. Take it out.
Yeah, completely.
But hey, who am I? What do I know? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of mama's cooking on Tibbs, man.
There you go. That's what he needs, Jesus. So, overall, first and foremost, it's hard to beat a team multiple times in a row. We got them 3 times in a row over the regular season. So, they are going to be making the adjustments back to us. So, I expected that at some point they were going to figure out a way to pull out a first against us. I think the last game we played against them even went to overtime, I believe, or something of that nature, right? So, and we did hurt Trae Young in that game. We got him out of the game, and a lot of people felt like maybe the game would have been different had he played the whole game, But, that being said, there was, like I said, there was plenty to, left on the table as far as the Knicks' performance, numbers-wise, and I'll get into some light stuff. I see H2O just joined us, so, but the 94 shots, that's just slightly above what we like as far as the pace. I like to keep it under the 90, So if we could get back to that, reduce that a little bit, that's less possession. That means you take the time off the clock, and stay away from there. Speed up. They like to go up and down the floor if they can, The 3-point shooting, man, that was like 10 of 30. I mean, eventually you're going to have games like that too, But a sneaky stat that got us, it really wasn't a whole thing. The free throw game, they were 11 of 12, and we were 11 of 15. So if you just look into that, dive into that just a little bit, we had three more attempts, and usually we're pretty good free throw shooting team. So we wasted all three of those attempts to try to either get back to 107 or possibly win 108, 107. There's little things like that, but it's minute things like that. It's not big things that we need to change. Just little adjustments to what we do as a team, and we could get back in the series. And I still like us to win and all that stuff like that. But get back to how we play overall, for 4 quarters. So with that being said, I'll do the overhand lob. I send it to H2. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Green. Let me get back here. Okay, here I am. So, I said coming into the series that if we come out of New York 1-1, we're still okay, but that I really wanted game one. Now this has turned into desperation time. We can't go down 2-0 to these guys. Like I said at the last episode, they are equal to us. Record-wise, winning streak, they have 4 in a row. We had 3 in a row. Like you said, in that last game, we won it in overtime, but they didn't have Trae Young. In spite of all of that, I still see the Knicks, maybe because I'm here in New York, like if everybody plays their best, like all 10 guys, all 15 guys, whatever get on the court, if everybody plays their best or even their average, we're a better team. If Bullock comes through, we're a better team. We win that game. If Randall plays like an all-star, we win that game. So even with all our struggles, it took a last-second shot for them to win the game. And the issue with that last-second shot is that instead of bringing in Ntilikina, he should have had Bullock on him and guarding his right. Ntilikina went to the left and left him on the right.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, Ntilikina may be a good defensive player, but he needs to be in the flow of the game. You just can't come off the bench after 47 and a half minutes, play the last 30 seconds, and think you're going to make a stop. Don't work that way. He needed to have Bullock on him the whole second half. Bullock is a box and one. You know what I'm saying? That all play on defense, man. We just guarding. We face guarding your behind, and wherever you go, I go. And wherever you are, I'm there with you. That's it. If Bullock ain't going to give us nothing offensively, then his ass needs to give us something defensively. And that's his job. That's it. You need somebody long on him. Okay? And when they do that pick and roll, you need to hedge hard and make them back the ball up a little bit and then run back to your man. So those are the little bit of things that would make this game different. Again, if the whole game was played the same way all over again, and Randall plays a halfway decent game, I'm not even looking at the stats. I don't think he even got 20 points. Did he?
No.
He didn't even get 20 points.
15.
So if he gets 20 points, we win this game. It's a shame. It's not a shame. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But now he's turning us into desperation time. Because then we have to win 4 out of the last 5. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have to win 4 out of the last 5. So that's where it is today. I saw something that the Bucks did. That I said, wow, if the Knicks did that, we'd be killing them. So instead of having the Greek freak handling the ball at the top, they gave it to that other kid. What's his name? The guard that you said we should have got him a couple of years ago?
Holiday.
Holiday handling the ball at the top. The Greek freak is down on the baseline. He was killing them down there. Okay? There was no wall, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to turn this conversation into a Miami Buck conversation, but it's the defensive changes or the offensive changes that they made. Okay? Randall is too big for those forwards, and whoever Trae Young is guarding, that's the guy that needs to be pounding him. You know, put him on the pick and roll, on the blocks, and go after him. Whether it's RJ, whether it's Rose, whoever it is, man, we have an advantage in height on that kid. He cannot guard anybody. We got to make him pay for that, for him being on the floor. And I mean, other than that, I love the way Burks came through again. I mean, he's been doing that all year long, man. Yeah. It's fantastic, man. And so, but the liabilities for us were the fact that we weren't shooting it well enough, especially right at the beginning of the game. We were throwing up bricks, and at the end of the game, that last shot that Randall, he missed the ocean, man. he missed it completely. It was like, wow, a 30-foot jumper. You could have gone to the basket. You could have gone under the basket and done a lot better than that. But anyway, again, that is water under the bridge. Nothing's going to bring that one back. I think the Knicks should be coming back with a sense of urgency and desperation, and the game should be better. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. I mean, they were in it, regardless of all of the mistakes that they made. They were in it up to the last thing. So, but that's not the kind of game that you want to play against a Panther. You don't want to give Trae Young the opportunity to win the game with a last-second shot. Yeah. And the thing is that now they're playing with house money. They won the first hand. They won the first hand, so they're playing with our money. They got our money now. Our money, lose Lucy tonight. They ain't got nothing to lose. No, they only lose money. They got nothing to lose. They're leaving out of here 1-1.
Regardless.
They have asked for better than that.
Yeah.
If they go 2-0, it's like, whoa. These guys are a bunch of chumps. We could take them, man. We don't have to come back. Don't even bother packing. They're going to be thinking like they don't even have to pack a bag. We ain't coming back to New York. And they'll be talking all that trash. Atlanta fans will be all over that. So, it feels like they're going to bounce back because they've done this before. They've lost games that they should have won and came back and did much better. But I just want to see them find a way to lock down Trae Young. If they find a way to lock down Trae Young some way, now they got them thinking. Going back, oh man, how are we going to change our strategy so that we can, counteract what they did to lock this young man down? And then give them bullets, man. I'll put bullets in a heartbeat. I'll start the same five. You know what I'm saying? Disguise it. Just let them go up and down like we're okay, for the first couple of minutes, and then boom, switch it up. Bring Rose, put Bullock on them.
Yeah.
And see what they respond with, or see how that goes. Yeah. Which I assume is got to go a lot better than before. And start double teaming him. I mean, make the other people make shots.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So take it away. Go ahead, Dream.
Yes. So no, I agree. You know what I'm saying? And initially, I think it starts with forcing more turnovers. They got us for 11, but we only forced them into 6 turnovers overall. So that's because we didn't take the ball out of Trae Young's hands. We just let him roam around. He was running free all day, picking us apart, basically. And all he was doing was dissecting us, and he was getting worse and worse and worse each quarter that was going by, right? He was getting to spots. He was figuring out, they can't defend me if I get here. I'll just put a little burst right around the corner, layup.
Yeah.
It's that and other. It was surgical. He was very surgical. And I said earlier in the broadcast, I said, man, this guy put up 23 shots, right? He was 11 for 23, but he only shot 3 3-pointers. So 20 of those shots, he just surgically right around 15 feet and in, just chopped us all up, basically. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was tough to deal with, but they need to, like you said, figure out, employ a different defensive strategy. Pick him up 3/4 court. As soon as he crosses half court, then double him, get the ball out of his hands right away. Something like that. Be more physical with him. You know what I'm saying? Push him left. If he's gonna go right, you gotta bump him, make him feel that going around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Push him wider. He's not only hitting the corner, but then he's taking like a direct angles, like 2-step, boom, to the basket. It's like, so those kind of little things. And that being said, like they only won by 2, and he had 30, 32, 7, and 10. So
Right.
even when he wasn't killing us from the inside, he was dropping 10 dimes. So it's like, okay, and you let him get 7 rebounds. He's the smallest guy on the court. So
Right.
so he had a decent game. And what we said in the past about how to play against him, or how we would like to see our team play against him, is like, let him get off. Let him have those 30, but the rest of the guys can't get off. See, the rest of the guys got off on us. So we had a nice lead we had built up going into the end of the third quarter, and then in about a minute or 2 minutes, Lou Williams drops 5 points. Then we open up the fourth, he drops another 2. So 7-point swing that he just drops right on it and basically drags him right back into a tie game. So it's like, that kind of thing. Like, you can't let that guy, after you let Trae Young, and then let him dissolve the lead that you built with Trae Young going off. So you can't have the two things can't happen to us. We're not that kind of team. We need to do what we can, control the pace, and if we're gonna let one guy go off, let one guy go off. Don't let him go off and then control the other factors of the game too. So those things. Yeah? And usually we get crushed down low. They did play well against us, but Capella had like an average game. He really didn't go off on us like he's done.
Right.
So that's the one area that I do see that they can improve on. But as far as the Knicks, we got multiple areas to improve on. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not, I don't feel, if we lose tonight, yes, I feel, man, this was desperation. Now we definitely in desperation. But going into it initially, I'm not like at the end of the plank yet. I'm not feeling like my hands are tied behind my back and I'm about to go into the ocean, so it's not that kind of desperation, but I do feel the, sincere urgency of this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to play well. You battled all year long to put yourself in a good position. And yes, Atlanta was going to be, we talked all year long about this team. They got 2 starting 5s and they've been solid, and even though they went through the trade and traded away, Rondo and stuff, they brought back Lou Williams. So he's like more what they need, a bench scorer, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of their bench guys didn't really go off. So, they have a little bit of improvement to make, but we have more to get back to our game and do what we do. And if we do what we do, then our game and our matchup plays better against them than they do against us. And it's shown that way over, the season. So, the longer the series goes, I think that'll be the case. But, that being said, I guess we can transition into tonight and what you might want to see, going into tonight's game.
I only want to add another little point in regards to the last game, and I think that being, which I'm going to give them this as an excuse or a legitimate point, which is that this is their first playoff game ever for some of these guys. Other than Alex Burks, they were nervous. Those were nervous shots.
Yeah.
I mean, Alfred had nothing. RJ had 14. I know you went through all of these already, but Billup had 6 points.
Yeah, I know.
Nervous shots. They weren't comfortable shots. They weren't like in rhythm. They were right there, but then when they went to shoot, it was like, And so at least that's how it looked to the untrained eye. Let's call it. The only guy that came in there with some energy, other than of course Alec Burks, the veteran, who's been doing it all year long, Emmanuel Quickly. He came in there with his energy, he just started doing things. I mean, he gave me his 10 points, which is all I can ask of him. 10 to 14 points. But the rest of the fellas had to do way much better. So, again, transitioning to tonight's game. I have to respectfully disagree with you. We lose this game, and it's definite desperation time. They have to come back with at least 1 win from over there, and then try to win. 3 out of the last 3. Okay, because 2 of those are in New York, but they have to win another one over there. So they have to win tonight, and they have to win one of the 2 in over there to gain back the home, to make it a 7-game series.
Yeah.
They have to win tonight, and they have to win one of the 2 games in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's what we got to do. It's payback. We got to go over there, and it's payback time. Oh, the big payback. I think Bill Stradamus will probably be playing that song. The big payback. They have to go over there and take it again. One other point, I didn't appreciate too much the chanting of the Garden crowd, the sophisticated New York Garden. Please, come on, man. How do you? That's not necessary.
Yeah,
you got to use a different word. Maybe maybe Trae Young sucks. Yeah. Trae Young sucks. Okay, stuff. F-bomb Trae Young. Nah, that's why he stuck his tongue at us.
Yeah. That's okay. That's allowed to.
I felt disrespected, man.
Yeah.
He shut down the Garden. He shut down New York. Okay, so for tonight's game, of course, the nervous energy from the first game, it's got to be over. The butterflies in the stomach, it's got to be over. It's like that's it. It's another game. It's another day at the office. It's strictly business. This is not the time to worry about the playoff. It's not the playoff. It's another basketball game that we need to win. Come in here, do what you know. Do your job. Do your job. What is your job? Your job is 25 points and 10 rebounds and 5 assists. That's what you need to do. Your job is to get 24 points and 7 rebounds and 1 assist. Do your job. So if everybody does their job, I'm expecting Alec Burks to hit over 20. I'm expecting Derrick Rose to hit over 15. I'm expecting RJ Barrett to hit over 20. I'm expecting Reggie Bullock to hit over 15. I'm expecting Julius Randle to hit over 20. That's their job. Don't come in here. Don't leave out of here 2-0, folks. That's all I can say. Don't leave out of here 2-0 because Atlanta is going to be feeding themselves. They're gonna swear that they're juggernauts.
Yeah.
And all they are is just like us. A 4-5 in the East.
Yeah.
And we are a better team than what we played. So therefore, if we play to our strength, we beat them by 10.
Yeah.
Easy by 10, man. And be careful if it's not a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we are in the same position as I think there's the Utah Jazz who allowed Memphis to take the first game. Is it Memphis, Utah Jazz?
Yeah.
So one of the questions I was on the radio show today, it says, who has more urgency to win tonight? Is it the Knicks or is it the Jazz?
The Jazz. The Knicks still playing with house money because they came into the season with no expectations, just maybe to get into the play-in or be at a bottom seed of the playoffs. So it's like, they still have house money, even though, there is a perceived expectation on them because they made the 4th seed. No, that was nice. That was good. That was earned. You played hard all season. But, we're still a team that has to battle every game. It's not like we're not Brooklyn. We don't got guys out there that's, 3 guys that can put up 30, 40, or 50 every night, So, we still have to go play our number 1 points allowed, defense. That's it. We allow 104, we play to that. Play to the 104. That's it. We are the third. We earned the 3rd best field percentage 3-point shooting team. Hey man, play somewhere around that. Play somewhere around what you've shown us all year long. 70 plus games, you've shown us that your defense travels and played at least as far as points allowed defense, number 1 from start to finish. Last year we were 18. That was an improvement, right? Last year we were like in the 20s in 3-point shooting. And all year long, we've just been climbing the ladder. We were 4th for like a lot of the end of the season. We finished in 3rd. So play close to that. Those kind of things. We make adjustments, maybe a switch at the guard, figure out a little rotation where it doesn't hurt us so much, having Rose come in, even if you just limit the initial minutes that he has. The problem with Peyton is not, he's still giving us what he's always given, is that now the competition is consistently better. right? Now you see Trae Young game after game after game after game. There's no like Trae Young, then a B level guard that you can
Right.
come back against the next day. He's exposing the hell out of you for what you are, right? You're a little bit slow footed and stuff like that. That's okay. Play solid defense, man. Play this guy to the left. Play his right. Try to, even at a distance, or force him to stay out of the lane altogether. I said initially earlier, they need to build a wall similar to how you would, go set up a defense against Giannis, right? Or
Yeah.
Luka even. Because I say all the time, people tell me all the time, I say push him outside and let him shoot all those threes. Keep him out of the paint. It's the same thing with Trae Young. Can't let him get in the paint for 32 and then also have 10 dimes. That's the damage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
that end up between 20 and 25 points. Easy.
That's it. That's too much. That's too much in a tight game where you're not playing up to your level, right? You didn't bring your best, but they're clearly bringing their best, and they're taking advantage of what's a clear, flaw we had early in the game. Go ahead.
You just use the word best, and they're playing their best.
Who?
So the Hawks.
The Hawks. They're approaching their best. They're still not their best.
So their best is 107 points.
Yeah.
Or it's a tight game that they got to win in the last second.
Yeah.
And our best is a little bit better than that.
It's better than that.
Another point, I say, listen, I agree with you that, up to this point, which I said before, that if, getting into the playoff, what's already an accomplishment for us who had only expectations of improving and developing our young players this year and becoming better than what we were last year.
Yeah.
And some of us surely went for 37 games, and they exceeded that expectations and went for 40, I think it was, or 41.
Yeah.
So they've exceeded everything. But they also beat this team 3 games.
Yeah.
Out of 3 games that they played.
Yeah.
So it's not enough for them to lose to this team in 5 or in 6.
Yeah.
If anything, I'll lose in 7 because we're both evenly, as far as what we bring to the table.
Yeah.
So we have, they have an all-star. I mean, Capella went to the all-star.
No, Young.
Young didn't make the all-star this year, did he?
But he's like an all-star level player.
So they have their all-star. We have our all-star.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it. Everybody else is just a grade A player. Even some A pluses in there.
Yeah.
But even though we are playing with house money, like you said, we've exceeded every expectation. Now the fan base feels as though, yeah, we've exceeded every expectation, but we're playing this team that we've had a good record against. I mean, we might have lost one of those games, could have gone either way. Had Trae Young finished that game that we beat them in overtime, okay, that could have gone either way. That was just like last night or the couple of nights ago game. But the last few seconds, boom, 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 you give them the ball, and that could have been. But 2 of those games, we beat them soundly with Trae Young, and that's what I'm saying by, now that we've beaten it, it's like the expectation is, and it's a legitimate expectation that we should beat this team.
Yeah.
Whether it takes 7 games or whatever, it's fine. Whatever it takes, but we should beat this team.
Yeah.
Or we should beat them 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
And it starts tonight.
Yeah.
And I say that we're going to go right back, and I'm going to go with my same expectation for last time, 112 to 110.
Okay. That's not bad, And in saying that, basically it needs to start with Randall, right? Yesterday he took an award for most improved player in the league, and he needs to take that award, and him and his son need to go into the locker room so he can remember what that's about and how he earned that, and he needs to come out and put that most improved player, we need all that on display tonight. And in comparison to last game, right? That little 15 points and 11 rebounds you gave us, we need most improved from that performance back to, I had said earlier in the day, sometimes we get blue Julius versus orange Julius, right? So we got blue Julius and we need the orange Julius. The Julius Yeah, we need that orange Julius, that refreshing, bright, sweet taste, right? That gives us 37, 12, and 6 against this team. That's the guy we need to get back to. 30-point Julius, that kind of guy,
you know
right?
what 37 points will do? It will be a blowout.
It would be a blowout. And I expect
points from Julius Randle means everybody else is going to be energized,
doing their thing.
Focus on making their shots. And RJ Barrett is going to be driving to the basket, and Noel will probably get 10 points.
And and those kind of things, like listen, just a little bit. We're not asking for a major jump. Tighten up the defense, right? Everybody tighten up your defense back to where it should be, and a little bit more offense from everybody. Barrett, Randall, Bullock, namely, right? Because the starters, we needed more from the starters. The starters didn't give us enough. The second unit came in and gave us that punch in the arm. We were like, whoa, okay, yeah, we got these. And it was from the young guys. Like, they didn't care. They just came in. Hey, man, we hyped like the crowd's hyped. Yeah, talk crap, blah, blah, blah. Put you smaller than me. Quickly was doing to, a little bit to Trae Young and stuff, that kind of stuff. But, it's like, and then the starters just didn't have that. They didn't have that. They didn't bring that to the thing. They seemed like, whoa, the Garden crowd is screaming defense from 3 seconds into the game. Yeah, bro, get down in the stance and steal that ball. Let's go. Like from jump. We were ready, and our expectation exceeded what the output was from the starters. And that's basically what that came down to.
Did you run through the numbers?
Yeah.
Of the second unit?
The second unit was amazing.
64 points.
Yeah.
27 for Burks, 17 for 17 for 27 for Burks, 17 for Rose, 5 for Gibson, 5 for Toppin, and 10 for Quickly.
Yeah, man. Like I said,
47, 57, and 64 points.
Not playing. They came in. And that's what they've been doing all season. See, they showed up. That stat showed up for us, right? Where our second unit comes in and our bench, we've been saying, yo, bench mob all year season, all year long, I should say. They've been coming in, and that has been a major difference to the column that puts W's for in the Knicks pocket. So without that all year long, we probably struggled in some of these games, but they have come in and clearly been dominant versus the other team's bench, and that showed true yesterday. Now, I think Atlanta will improve some of their bench because a lot of their bench didn't shoot well. Gallinari didn't shoot well. Herter didn't really shoot well, even though they scored a couple of points, but they put up, like 1 for 5, 1 for 6, and and as far as 3-pointers. So I expect maybe they'll make a couple more of those. But the big thing was, spot defense, right? You had that spot defense that everybody's complaining about at the end of the game that against Trae Young that gave up the game. But really, what it was to me was the end of the third, first possessions of the fourth. End of the third, we had a 7-point lead. We gave 5 straight points to Lou Williams off the bench, a 3 and a 2. Boom. Then he comes out in the fourth. Boom, another 2. So those 7 points, tie game. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And not only that, turn the momentum. Because it's like right away when you lose the lead, you hang your head.
Yeah, and then you just hand the ball. If you're Atlanta, you're like, okay, well, my guy's been getting in the lane all night long, and that didn't stop. You turn it right back over, even game to Trae Young, whereas maybe you could have tried to defend him a little bit different, and he goes right back to what he was doing, in the lane. So, what else are you gonna do? Like I said. But you have your areas to improve. And I expect that they'll do that. We, guys to watch tonight. Capella obviously can have a better game. He has had better games against us. And the other guy who's starting to get hot is Bogdanovich. We got to watch this guy, man. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for that fluke 3 that bounced off Barrett into his hands, boom, he drills down.
Barrett turned his back to the ball.
Yes.
So he's looking at whatever it was. He's like, where is the ball? It hit him right in the back.
Hit him in the back. So, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So but like we said also, if you allow teams to hang around, those kind of plays come back to bite you. Shouldn't have been no 5-point game. They should have held that 7-point lead, played sharp defense, not give up 36 points in the fourth quarter. What was that about? That's what I'm saying. So that's really you know what I mean? Like, if you break down by numbers, there's real areas where we can improve on and walk away with an easy win. Like you said, this should be by 10, right? So, you know, even though you got them by 2, that's fine. But like I said, watch these guys off the bench, Gallinari and Herder tonight. Make sure they don't come out of nowhere and bite us, and then, the starters, watch Capella continue to do well against them because, even though they felt like they were dominant, they were just hanging with us in the inside, basically. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they made a couple more flash plays, but ultimately the rebounding was basically in the same ballpark area for each team. And points wise, they had a little bit going on, but nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? 9 points, and I think there's like 12 points out of Collins, but that's not too bad, But definitely push Trae Young out of the inside. That's a key, right? Have our 3 guys out of our starters, Randall, Barrett, and Bullet, got to play better, right? And then play better, play closer to our 3-point percentage, right? We're third in the league. We don't need to be playing like in the bottom 20s. 10 of 30, that's not going to cut it. We needed like 3 more, 4 more of those threes to go down at the right time, And a fourth quarter defense is a must. Without that, that's our staple. If you're going to give up 36 points, we're out of here. 4-zip.
That's right.
We're not going to get a win against these guys. Can't let them get loose, and then all of a sudden, in the fourth corner, they feel like great basket.
You held them down to 19 in the third,
and then all of a sudden, it went out the window, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have preferred the reverse of that because then at least we would have been playing stronger defense down the end, and they would maybe not have felt good about getting a last shot off. I don't know how that would have worked, but ultimately, I think that I think I made all the points that I had to make, but I think the Knicks do pull this game out. I don't think it's as close as your prediction of 112-110, but I do have them at 113-104. I think they maybe get it turns into a free throw game at the end, and we do a little bit better in our percentage, and maybe just pull this game out a couple extra free throws at the end to stretch out the lead. But 113-104. I'm going to say Santana probably felt good about us winning today, so I'll give him, I don't know, unless he wants to chime in at some point, but I'm going to throw his score down as 105-100 because, he always drops the 100 on us. So, and outside of that, I think, we've chopped it up enough. We've given you everything we had. We've broken down that last game, and we've analyzed ways to get this this game under our belt today. And put our flag down on W's as far as this season goes in the playoffs, right? Break even, go back to Atlanta. We still have good numbers against this team, but it's an even matchup, and we should expect an even matchup all the way through. Even if there is a blowout here and there, either way, they get us or we get them. I wouldn't expect over the 6 or 7 games that it's going to take for either team to pull this out that it'll be too many blowouts going on. I probably even expect, and we probably should have got one in the first game, a couple of overtime games. There's going to be a couple of overtime games thrown into this, you know what I'm saying? So I really thought, coming down the stretch of that game, it was going to be that, but they got us. They didn't let this one get to overtime, you know what I'm saying? So, and with that being said, I think I'll go behind the back and toss it to you. You can send us out of here if you want.
Absolutely.
After your analysis.
So thanks again, everyone, for your participation. And as we always say at the end of every episode, once a Knicks, always a Knicks.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Good luck, man. And
yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll catch up. And salute to all the fans and everybody watching. All right, we'll talk to you later.